Hi everyone, this is Joseph Trambulo, physiotherapist here over at CrossFit Markham with Coach Azadeh, here to give you some great tips and drills for mobility for 16.5. 16.5, only two movements, burpees and thrusters. So we're going to break it down for you to help you have a great workout. So thrusters, we'll talk about the lower extremity. At the bottom of the thruster, you need really great mobility in the ankles, knees, and hips. So what we want to make sure is that you have great mobility so you're not compensating, throughout your workout and then all of a sudden like getting gassed a lot earlier because you don't have the mobility, so you're using other muscles to compensate for you. So Coach Azadeh is going to show us one great drill to help us with our patellar mobility. So actually, Coach Azadeh, if you can lie down on your stomach. So, and just raise your knee here. Okay, perfect. So the one big thing that we want to do is we want to make sure that our knees don't keep us from, like our patella and our kneecaps are not impinging and giving us pain as we get to the bottom of the thruster, right? So within the first couple rounds, we might be okay, but we need to have like really great mobility. So what we're going to do here is Coach Azadeh is doing an active release technique, or you could call it a pin and stretch, to release her her quadriceps tendon. So where she's placing it is just to above the kneecap here and just bending. So you could do this with a foam roller or a lacrosse ball. Now the next thing we want to do is to help to release the iliotibial band. So she's just going to do this, turn on the side there, right? And then bend and relax. Now, Coach Azadeh could work all the way up the iliotibial band. So if you don't want to, if you have time, work up the whole band so you have like great mobility through the thighs. Okay, perfect. So next thing we want to make sure, as in previous videos, at the bottom of the thruster, we want to make sure we have great ankle mobility as well as hip mobility. So coming over here. So again, what we want to do, actually. Yeah. So we'll do the hip first. Perfect. So again, what we want to do is make sure that our hip is not pinching at the bottom of the thruster. So Coach Azadeh will come forward. Okay. Get that strap just inside that hip joint, right at the groin, and just come as far forward as she can, right? As she gets to that end range, right, just oscillate to help to mobilize that femur off that acetabulum, okay? You could do that for about 10 repetitions, okay, and do that within your comfort zone, okay? Perfect, thank you. Now we're going to work on the ankles. So, turn around. We could use the same angle here. Perfect, let's step back. So here, at the bottom of the thruster, you want to make sure you have full range of motion, right? So a lot of times as people are fatiguing, as you get to the bottom of the thrusters, you don't want your heels to come up, so you want your heels to be able to come down and have great range of motion. So what Coach Azadeh is doing here is getting the band just above the ankle here, and then stretching. What that band will do is it'll help to stretch out the soft tissue and give her a great release. So make sure that the heel is on the ground, like that, and then just as you get to the end, oscillate about 10 to 15 times. Perfect, thank you. So now, one key thing we want to do also is to make sure we have great movement at the top of the thruster. Now, one thing that we want to do is we want to make sure that our pelvis is nice and level. At the top of the thruster, a lot of people have what's called an anterior pelvic tilt. So what ends up happening is that the pelvis arches forward. Now, the bad thing about this is that it causes a lot of compression in the low back, and then you're not able to activate your abdominals and your quad and your glutes. So this is going to be a great drill to help with that. So go ahead and kneel here. So what Coach Azadeh is going to do is she's going to put her hands right on her waist. Okay, and then just bring your hands up like that. Perfect. So it's going to give her a good idea of where her hips are, right? Where her pelvis is. And now what she's going to do is she's going to just tilt her pelvis back like that and down. So this is not as much a mobility drill as it is a motor control drill, right? What this will do, this will allow her to activate more of her core at the top of the thruster. And then what this will actually help is that instead of at the top of the thruster being forward like this and compressing her back, now with the pelvis straight up, now you can have full extension and you don't have to compensate through your spine, through your thoracic spine, or your shoulders for the movement. Okay, great, thank you. So with that, you want to do about 10-15 reps Once you get good with isolating that, then you can work on that standing as well. Okay, so the next thing we want to do is we want to work on the shoulders as well. As in previous videos, I've talked about soft tissue work around the shoulders. So you could use your hand to release your pecs, right? We talked before about using a foam roller or lacrosse ball to release your deltoids, your posterior calf, as well as your lats as well. So you can look at some previous videos to get some great soft tissue techniques for that. Once you've completed all your soft tissue work around your shoulders, right, now Coach Azay will demonstrate a great drill to really help you get that extension and that stretch up in your shoulders for the top of the thruster. So what Coach Azay will do here is just take a foam roller. She's going to place that just underneath her thoracic spine, and using a bar, what she's just going to do is just stretch out. What this is great for is just to stretch not only the thoracic spine, right, but also all the muscles around the shoulder joint. Okay, and then what she's doing right there is just going back and forth and just stretching a little bit. So you can do that for about 10-15 repetitions, just to allow those shoulders to ease up, and you'll be great at the top of the thruster. Last thing that I want to talk about is wrist mobility. Okay, so what we want to do, as we've shown in previous videos as well, is, Coach Azay, put your hands on the side there, right? You want to be able to get full wrist extension at the bottom of the thruster as you come up. A lot of people, as they get fatigued, start to lose a lot of wrist mobility at the bottom, and then they start compensating with their arms, back, and shoulders. So what Coach Azay is doing here is she's just getting her hands just side to side, fingers splaying out, and then just leaning off to the side for about 5 to 6 seconds, and then just going back and forth, right? You could do this with the fingers splayed on the side, or you could do it with the fingers back, right? You can play around with a lot of different angles to get as maximum mobility as you can in your wrists. So that's it for tips and mobility tricks for 16.5. Hope all of you guys have a great workout. And if you have any questions, please place a comment on my comment section. Check out the website for any more videos and tips over at CrossFit Markham at Reebok CrossFit East Woodbridge. And I wish you all the best. Take care.